Hello everyone, my name is Verma and I am an assistant professor in the IT department at dtss College of Commerce. Today's topic is what are recommendation system and how it is implemented using AI and Python. But before we dive deeper into this topic, let me ask you a quick question. Ever finished a Netflix show and thought, how did they know that I would love that next movie? Or scroll through YouTube and notice that it's completely filled with exactly the kind of videos you enjoy? It's no magic. That's recommendation systems at work. These systems power the personalized suggestions that you see on platforms like Netflix and YouTube. They analyze your viewing behavior to predict what you are most likely to enjoy next. In this video, we will break down how these systems work step by step using simple Python concepts. So let's begin. Now, what are recommendation systems? Recommendation systems use data from your interactions, like what you watch, what you like and what you skip, to suggest relevant content to you. Think about the scale. Netflix serves more than 200 million users, while YouTube reaches more than 2 billion monthly viewers. With such massive audiences, accurate recommendations are not optional, those are essential. In fact, personalized recommendations can increase engagement by up to 75%. So the big question is, how do they really work? Now, most recommendation systems rely on two major approaches. First, content-based filtering, and second, collaborative filtering. And in many real-world applications, these both are used simultaneously. Now let's first talk about content-based filtering. This method focuses entirely on you, that is, your preferences, your behavior and your viewing history. It recommends items that are similar to what you have liked before, based on features like genre, actor, directors, keywords, etc. For example, if you frequently watch action films, Netflix will suggest more of those action films. Here the system is essentially saying you liked this type of content before, so you might like something similar. Simple logic, but it is very powerful. Now let's move to collaborative filtering. This approach is slightly different because instead of focusing only on you, it looks at patterns among similar users. You must have seen this line, right? Users like you rated this highly. That right there is collaborative filtering in action. The system compares your behavior with millions of other users. It identifies people whose viewing habits are similar to yours. Then it recommends content that those users consumed but you haven't watched yet. So instead of asking what does this user like, it asks what do similar users like. That shifts make the system more intelligent and dynamic. Now you might be wondering what is happening technically behind the scenes, right? And where do Python and AI actually fit into all of this? So let's break it down. The step one is data collection, which is the foundation of AI. Before any recommendation is made, the system uses data. It tracks what you watched, how long you watched that content, what you skipped, what you searched for, and what you liked or disliked. In AI terminology, this is called user data representation. Without data, there is no intelligence. Step 2 is the feature representation. The system doesn't just store movie titles, it breaks each piece of content into features. For example, a movie may include genre, actor, director, rating, duration, release year, etc. These attributes are called features. Now why is this important? Because AI systems don't think in titles, they think in pattern and features. By converting content into structural features, the system can compare items intelligently. Now comes the heart of recommendation systems, that is step 3, similarity matching. In content-based filtering, the system compares your past watched genres with the genre of new movies. If there is an overlap, it gets recommended. In collaborative filtering, it compares your behavior vector with another user's behavior vector. If the similarity score is high, it gets recommended. The idea is still the same, matching patterns using logic. Now the last step, prediction. Now the system moves from matching to predicting. Predicts the probability that you will click, the probability that you will watch till the end, the probability that you will like it. This is where machine learning models come in. These models are trained on historical data using Python libraries. Over time, the model learns patterns such as if a user watches 3 sci-fi movies in a row, there is a high probability that the next movie they watch is of sci-fi genre. That ability to predict is AI. Now we know the steps of how recommendation systems work. But why do we just use Python? Like, why do we skip C, C++, JavaScript, etc.? Why Python dominates recommendation systems? This is simply because it supports the entire AI pipeline. With Python, developers can collect and clean data, perform numerical analysis, build machine learning models, deploy systems into real-life applications, etc. So from simple logic to complex neural networks, Python handles it all. So we just discussed the role of Python and AI in implementing recommendation systems. but what is the relationship between these two? So now try to visualize. If you want to build intelligent systems like Netflix or YouTube, you must combine logical thinking, data handling, algorithm understanding, and matching learning fundamentals. And all of this begins with Python. When you learn how to store preferences, compare data, calculate similarity, and train a model, you are learning the building blocks of recommendation AI. But you know what the bigger picture is? The bigger picture is that behind these systems, Python developers, data scientists, machine learning engineers, and AI specialists work. These are not just the algorithms, these are real world technologies shaping modern digital platforms. Major tech companies heavily own recommendation systems, data analytics, and artificial intelligence. And the most widely used language powering these systems, Python. So the next time Netflix recommends you the perfect show or YouTube suggests exactly the content you were thinking of watching, you know it's not magic. It's data, algorithm, Python, and artificial intelligence working together. And if you continue learning Python deeply, you are not just learning a programming language. You are preparing yourself to build systems that's gonna influence millions of users. That is the power of AI in Python. If you found this session useful, continue practicing and exploring deeper topics. Thank you for learning with me, and I will meet you in the next lecture.